I'm sitting here thinking about one of my ex's daddy. I'm telling you, that's gotta be the worst story in the world. But he was telling me about this entombment stuff y'all be doing. For me, it's a woman's game. It's a woman's game. And I'm gonna just give y'all this is probably one of the best, realest, saddest stories that I ever told, even though people don't pay no attention to it. And that's how I found out that my Uncle James Brown was a liar. Because this is a woman's world. This is entombment right here. And my ex always treated the relationship like she had this second thing in her pocket. Like she had, when you come up poor, when you come up with nothing, and both of y'all come from nothing, because we could come from the slum, and both of y'all come from nothing. When you come up poor or whatever, let me get calm. When you come up poor or whatever, and both of y'all come from nothing, you don't look for stuff like this to be in a way. This must be some kind of rich game for women. But anybody can do it. And I heard it's legal. It's sometimes dark web stuff. You throw people things in. So, but anyway, my ex-daddy, he stayed away from the family after they did whatever they did to him. And the family always talked bad about him, said he was evil, said he was this. Same thing I hear about men in this situation. Same exact petty story. They evil, they beat you, murderers, all the whatever they got to say. And then they wind up marrying a complete and utter loser. So anyway, well, I was like, my ex said she ain't seen her daddy. I felt sorry for them because I thought they wanted to see their daddy. But their daddy had a lot. Their daddy had a lot going on. But that's the thing, he had a lot. So, but I didn't know the full story. So I was the kind of person on the street that would help kids find their family, their parents and stuff, reunite them with their parents and stuff. Because couldn't nobody else do it, didn't nobody know how to do it. But I did, a little bit. So I found her daddy, and I looked him up, and I called him. And he was like, sure, yeah, bring it through. I ain't seen her in years. He was like, sure, bring it through. I ain't seen her in years. And I went up and I met the dude. And he had a wife with him, almost as if this wife bought him out of that situation. But she didn't like that. She didn't like the family. It's like, it's a group of women who know about it, and it's a group of women who don't approve of it, but go get good men out of there. So it's like a woman's game. So anyway, that woman looked at me like, don't bring them people over here. Like she knew they was something was wrong with them. And then they grew up in this strange environment with this church. They grew up like people who was programmed and possessed to sacrifice folks. I didn't know that then, though. I know it now. But so on my way, this is why I know it. I met another woman that knows me from the street, and she said, "Is you going with such and such?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Be careful with those people. Those people do magic. Them people like to torture folk with magic or something like that." And I was like, what? I never got nothing. I thought the lady was crazy after that. I know this lady my whole life, but when she said that, I automatically wrote her off as crazy. So, anyway, I go get my ex, and I take her up to see her daddy. And her daddy pulled me to the side and said, hey, man, you see my Bible? His Bible looked just like mine, pages tore out of it and everything. He had it redone, though. He said, I had to sit in a building. It was a little building with no bathroom. He said I had to sit in that building for 7.5 years. He said I lost almost 1,000 acres. He said I lost, now we come from nothing, him and me. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all celebrities out there. Y'all need to quit. I'll get to that later. Because y'all all think this is a game. And it probably is a hunger's game. Once y'all play with yourselves, though, why you gotta play with poor folk? This is the way to keep the poor poor. Don't do that to us. Because y'all don't even know good. It's like y'all, you're supposed to know better. Especially if you're higher up, rich, wealthy person. You're supposed to know better. You're supposed to know about batteries and engines and your trees. You're supposed to know that color is irrelevant. Why are you torturing your own people? But anyway, so that's when your forefather was crying on that deathbed, and he said, you can't do that, you can't do that. That's what y'all playing with. Y'all playing was probably put in motion to use that hunger game to just pick off poor people. Y'all ought to be ashamed of y'all. Say, you ain't going to heaven. Ain't no way in hell you going to heaven. But anyway, I get up there, I take the family up there to the daddy. And like I said, he pulled me to the side. And this man had 1,000 acres. We come from nothing now. This man had 1,000 acres. He had a modular home built on 1,000 acres. And he had 500 acres, and he had some more land somewhere else. And he had this land somewhere else where he kept tractors and backhoes and all that at. And so he had really more than 500 acres, but he had 500 acres on his one land. And anyway, we get there. He pulled me over. He said, "Watch that family, bro, because I was good to that mama. I gave her thousands of dollars every time, like every 2 weeks or every week, to spend for herself. All she had to do was pay the bill." And he said she still did me like this. The woman had a good family, had a good life. She still did this. I don't know what made her do that. And my ex-wife was like, it's like they got a loaded gun. It's like they got a loaded gun in their pocket, bro. And when they do this, I'm gonna tell this whole story because I want everybody in the whole world to hear this now. I don't know what kind of games y'all got on dark web. But first and foremost, whatever, I know it ain't just women, it's men too. But in my case, you know, they send the women, and in the woman's case, they send the men. I guess that's how it works. But if it's legal to do that, somebody should be legal to get beat up. You should be people like y'all, they need to put y'all names out there to everybody who over that. Every last one of y'all, every single last one of y'all should have y'all names out there on display. And everybody see y'all, they start putting them hands on you. Cause it shouldn't be legal to just grab somebody and throw them in on shit like that. I don't care what nobody say. But anyway, so you gotta imagine if you married to somebody and you expect the best out of you. When you marry somebody, you marry for better or worse. These women hold that loaded gun in their pocket like, as soon as we start struggling, I'm gonna sacrifice them. Cause it's like they get $100,000, they get so many thousands of dollars or something for sacrifice, and they know this. So it's like, it don't matter. When you in a business, when you coming from nothing, you have ups and downs, especially when you work for yourself. So it's like this woman getting this money, way more than this money all the time, but she ain't getting it at one lump sum. That's an issue with probably poor black women. They want that one lump sum, even though they probably getting $15,000 every week to spend. You know what I'm saying? They still want $100,000. That ain't nothing. You get $15,000 every week. Dense, bro. I'm telling you. So anyway, uh, uh, so what happened was he pulled me to the side, and this man had gardens and everything. He had gardens, and he had them sectioned off. He had apples in one spot. He might have cilantro in another spot. He might have tomatoes in another spot, onions in another spot, and it was decked out. And this was with the new property. He said after they tortured him to death, he ain't had no bathroom. I want y'all to hear this now. This is the strongest story I got. All that other stuff, don't tell nobody your secrets. I don't want to hear that shit. I've been going through this my whole life. Somebody been doing me like this my whole life, but I didn't really understand it until I got with my ex-wife. And so I just be giving y'all the business. I done got to the point, I done been tortured so long, I'm wanting y'all to bring all you got. So I can keep exposing y'all business, telling everybody what y'all got going on, because obviously you ain't letting me out of here. Obviously I ain't getting out of here unless God do it. And God timing ain't my timing. So I just want you to keep throwing stuff, because I know you can't kill nobody, and I'm going to go on here and keep telling everybody. I need to tell the world as much of this stuff as possible so we can just break it down and get rid of it. Because I'm going to tell you why at the end of the story. Because we come from nothing. We ain't had no silver spoons in our mouth where we come from, the women or the men, period. But like I said, it was like this girl had this loaded gun in her pocket, bro. Let me cut this heat off. I need to be cool, because I'm finna give y'all the business. But anyway, I get to this guy over 70 years old. Come to find out he dying when I get there. Literally dying. And I heard that about this thing too. I heard that the men go through so much that by the time they get out of it, they die in 10 to 15 years. That's what I heard. He looked healthy. He was smart, brilliant, but that man was dying. I'm finna tell you how. So I take them to see the man. I take them to see him. He pulled me to the side. He tell me everything that I turned around when I'm going through. But his story was way more dramatic, because that building that he had to live in, it didn't have no bathroom. Imagine having to live like that for 7.5 years, and you had all that going for yourself, and overnight somebody throwed your ass, put you in some kind of thing that's legal to do to poor people, that strive their whole life stay out of people's way. You just pick off poor people and put them in this Hunger Game for your entertainment. And then y'all call yourself God and what Jesus. Jesus ain't come to see nobody like y'all. People like y'all are turning earth into a hell. This is going to be the second hell if y'all don't stop doing what y'all doing. What would Jesus want to come down here for? Now, so anyway, and then these women, and then when they, so I didn't think nothing about it, but these was warnings. I got all these warnings 4 years before I got put in this situation. I should have left her. That was a sign to leave her then. So when I had that near-death experience, God was like, you're supposed to left her after 5 years. She purposely stayed with you for another 5 years to set you up. That's what God told me. And he told me everything else, them stories I've been telling y'all. He said, but I'm going to let her have it for a while. And then everybody who did you in, we're going to get them all back. Each and every last person, people on social media, whatever. God said this himself. Y'all act like God don't know about social media, like he too old. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Y'all ain't even, from what God showed me, the earth ain't even got nowhere. The earth is the oldest planet civilization. It's supposed to be the youngest, but they act like they the oldest. They Mayberry. Y'all act like computer a big thing. That ain't nothing. That's garbage. And it even look garbage sometimes. But from what God showed me, I thought it was something too, till I seen what we supposed to be doing, how we supposed to be living. But anyway, uh, uh, so that woman, like I said, it's like a group of women that they pay to get you out of. They look in this tank. They know this tank got good men in it. But the other group of women put men in this tank by saying they bad men. Same thing, vice versa with women. So, anyway, the guy told me how he overnight lost everything. He had to work for this stuff. He built malls and everything. Dude, a black man. You know how hard that is? A black man. Ain't no celebrities, ain't nobody rich, ain't nobody got nothing. Come from nothing now. Talking about come from nothing, you gotta walk the train track, go to Burger King, work, save up money, then pray to God you get a good plant job. You get a good plant job, you think you're a celebrity. And then you invest that money. This is what come from nothing is now. You walk many, many miles to Burger King, McDonald's, KFC, wherever gonna give you a job, save your money up, get you a car, and you go to a plant job, and you save your money up and invest in a business. It's always check to check, no matter how much you make, until you get you a business. That's why the goal is getting a business, not becoming a celebrity when you're in these situations. And this probably too bad for y'all to hear. Oh, you can't hear it, can't hear it. I hear men and women. I heard a guy on social media. He said, I don't want to hear music like that. I don't know what he was talking about. He said, that ain't music. You don't even know what music is. I know people, demons do that. They don't want to hear the truth. They can't stand to hear the truth. My parents do that. My mama do that, and I know a few other people who do that. And what everybody do is walk away from them because they leaking. They about to go crazy. Now, anyway, so, and what I learned in this situation, they put you in this situation, and all they want us to do is see, look, it's kind of perverse tests to me, a bunch of perverse tests, which is the only way to help you get out of it. It's like throwing somebody in hell and they got to climb out of hell. Because, see, when they put you in hell, let's say they put you in hell and it's a tornado. Now I know what God was doing when he was flying me out of this thing. Because when I went straight to hell, when I died, I had a vision that this huge being in hell, I fell off this thing that I was flying on with God. And this huge being in hell caught me. He said, hey, such, and he tell he knew me. And I said, you can put me back. He threw me back up there. He threw me back up there. It was like throwing me from hell to earth. He just threw me. That's how big, huge he was. He threw me back up there, and I landed back on that thing with God. And I was wondering what God was doing when he was going through this tornado thing. And what it was, it's like that's what God went and got me out of hell. So you can imagine somebody throwing somebody in hell, and then when they throw somebody in hell, everybody take this person's identity. So that, I guess you could say that's what a person sell their soul to put you in, sacrifice you, okay? And throw me in hell. And I know y'all gonna put videos out, so don't say that. I want y'all to stop doing that, because y'all ain't in my shoes and y'all ain't did nothing yet. When you do something, we'll talk about it. Till then, like my boy said, like my boy Omar said, if you going through it, you need to be in the forefront to tell about it. And that's where I'm at. Period. Period, bro. Because I've been going through this for 40 years of my life. Because somebody been doing me like this all my life, like and giving everybody my identity but me. And the only people who can do that is my own parents. See what I'm saying? So, anyway, I want all you people to hear this. Quit sitting there saying, don't say this, don't. You scared, why you doing it? If you scared, why you doing it? Let it go already. That's what it is. You can dish it but can't take it. You got rich off all these people that you done sacrificed, that did nothing to you. Y'all finna leave poor people alone, bro. But anyway, y'all throw them in this fish tank. But imagine it been a tornado. And imagine somebody throwing you in the sea and you got fish, you got shark, you got whales. Imagine all them being humans. When they throw you in hell, somebody else could take your identity by right. Now imagine somebody doing, that's what I was telling God. That's what I was talking to my father about. I was like, how is it fair for somebody to sell their soul and sacrifice another? But I get what he's saying. It's energy. They sacrificed their soul. They sold their soul, sent their soul straight to hell. So they got to take somebody else's energy that's already out here. So it's like, but God, I think God said he done found a way to stop it. He finna stop it. Because it ain't fair. It ain't fair to the people who ain't got nothing to do with that black magic, dark, low vibrational garbage. It ain't fair at all. I was in my bed, laying beside my wife, getting ready for work or getting ready to take care of my child. I ain't had nothing to do with all this. You sacrifice folks for $1 million crap. I knew how to go to work. A lot of y'all, I went and followed a lot of y'all secretly that y'all didn't know. And a lot of y'all couldn't work like I work because you said you couldn't deal with people. That's what you go to work for. Learn how to deal with people. And that's why you ain't got no real business. That's why you ain't got no business about yourself. Because you gotta know how to deal with all people to have a business. That's why I say I don't know where y'all getting this from. You this, you too good, you good. How was I good? How was I like that when I had businesses? What are y'all talking about? You trying to swap my energy up with the person that was on their knee. I'm on my feet out here. Anyway, so I guess y'all need a story for this movie, but it's garbage. You better go my way if you want it to mean something. That garbage ass movie. Same movie everybody else producing. Get out of here. Anyway, so, like I said, where we going with this thing? Like I said, this is the strongest story I got. I'm going to keep telling this story till somebody hear this story now. I continue to take them to see they did it. But at this point, I could feel the vibe of this woman. And then it got to the point where I don't even know why he was already sick. And in 1 week, 2 weeks, he died. He was on his deathbed. And he was hurting so bad, he couldn't even open his eyes, but he was laying there. And the woman invited us over to see him one more time because she knew he was dying. And I decided to pray for him. So we got in the line and we prayed for him, and he cried his last tears and died. He cried on his deathbed while we were praying for him. The man was almost completely healthy when I saw him. But it's like his last, even though his previous family did him the way they did him, because he couldn't see his kids no more, just like my child. He couldn't see his kids no more, none of that. And that's the truth. To that family out there that you know who I'm talking about, y'all talk bad about that man. That's why I'm going to tell y'all what's going on with y'all too. And y'all going to be scared to death when I get through it too. That energy around y'all, that's purgatory energy. That's from selling people out. Y'all better get your soul right, I'm telling you. That's why y'all so in the depths of solitude. That's why y'all so trapped, purgatory, and in dark. Y'all all don't even know it, but your whole family's in dark nights of the soul because of this. Y'all didn't even know it. That's how long y'all been doing it. Y'all thought that was normal energy. That ain't normal energy around y'all. That's dark night of the soul. I'm glad I'm not around y'all no more. I thank God. Because even in being in this situation like here, my energy ain't nowhere near like that. It feel like that shit just stacked on y'all like y'all been doing this for a long time. Now, so anyway, that's signs of going straight to hell when you die. Whoever participated in, Derek didn't though. Derek, I still don't know if Derek dead or not. If Derek dead, you know I'm telling the truth. Because Derek got over there on the other side and Derek said, I said, Derek, how you feeling? I said, I'm sorry about your death. He said, I'm not, I'm free now. That's how awful it feel down there. And that boy wasn't working or nothing. He had what y'all call made. That boy wasn't working or nothing. That boy suffered. Y'all suffer. Y'all torture that boy to death. Because people like y'all, in that situation, when y'all do what y'all do, when that karma come back around, y'all damn near got to sacrifice each other. In other words, make sure you stay low so you can get these little checks from the government and stuff just to live. Because the energy, you ain't got no more energy. Because when your energy left you for sacrificing somebody else, you didn't know that. I'm telling you this now. You better learn it. You better know it. I ain't even talking about you. I'm telling you. You better learn it. You better know it. Every time you sacrifice somebody, you sold your own soul. So when you supposed to have recognized that purgatory energy, as soon as you done that, listen to what I'm telling you out there. Your old mama, your mama, all of you. When you sold your soul, you automatically got into purgatory energy when you got somebody else's soul. Somebody else's soul is energy. So somebody else's soul was fighting inside of you and over there where they was at with you, and that's why they started torturing everything around you, killing everything around you, and decomposing everything around you because it's trying to get back to its own vessel. And that's what it's supposed to do by norm. Energy comes from God, comes from the source. So let's say you picture God as a guitar, and you got strings on a guitar, and y'all taking energy. Energy don't die. It comes from the source. God need all his people. God need everything, every human being on the earth. That's all God. We all are God. So imagine a guitar and it's God flying, and you taking the strings and you turning them around like that. And God need his strings so he can fly. You see what I'm saying? You don't even get that though. But anyway, so what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to recognize the purgatory energy and start fighting to unsear your heart. And you can tell how your heart is unseared by the way the weather changed. That boy just taught y'all something. Y'all still don't care, do you? But anyway, that's what you don't do. When you got a seared heart, you ain't supposed to care. You're not supposed to care. So one of the women that was around y'all when y'all were doing this was actually a devil vessel or a Satan vessel. And that's why that particular girl lost her mind. It seemed like she's distorted a little bit because she was actually a devil vessel. You activated her. So what the devil do? When you move like this, that little tornado thing y'all got in the dark well, it actually triggers all. It's like, it basically, y'all got a legal, whatever that thing is on the dark well, that's basically a legal sell your soul tornado. That's what it is. It's a franchise business for selling your soul. Y'all got it as selling your identity and selling this, but it's selling your soul. Cause I had a near-death experience. Yeah, they brought the people in, they put bad drugs in my drugs and everything. When I was doing the drugs, they put bad drugs and stuff. They could have put rat paw in there. I had a near-death experience. I just didn't die. That's how I had all these, that's why I got off the drugs. That ain't why, but I was getting off the drugs. I really wasn't even on drugs anyway. They convinced me, I had already quit drugs. They convinced me to do drugs, do music again. They acted like they were going to help me, support me. They put this little team together. We're going to do stuff. We're going to really back you up this time. And they brought the drugs in the studio like normal. And I went down. I almost died. That was years ago, but this is when it was really getting started for them to sacrifice me. And it's like when I came to, somebody finally told me, they said, this is how it works. They do all this, and they bring serious drugs, and it don't be drugs, it be lace drugs, and they make you do it. And even though I didn't do much of it, it was enough to kill me. And then they were like, why he ain't dead? But they didn't know is I did have a near-death experience, and I didn't come back myself. I came back a higher vibrational being, and I'm on y'all asses out here. But anyway, where am I at with this story? This is a long story, bro. I really can't say it like I want to. It's always 30 to 40 minutes. But, I'm trying to break it down. But anyway, what I was gonna say? But yeah, they throw you in this tornado. Imagine all the fishes, everything in the sea being a human. So your soul, when you claimed it once they put you in there. That's why a lot of people die when they put them in there. They can start by putting your social security number and your name and information in there. But once you get in there to the machine, you dead, and your soul actually go down to hell. So it's like you temporarily go to hell until God observe and analyze the energy. And once God observe and analyze the energy and realize you ain't supposed to be in hell, he got to go back and get the ones who actually supposed to be in here, and that's the one who sold you out. That's how it works. Yes, sir. That's how it works. And and so you gotta climb out. They want you to do these tests, but the test is to sabotage. And especially if you're a royal being like myself, they're like, nah, let's say you sacrifice Jesus. Oh no, Jesus can't get out of hell. We're gonna sabotage Jesus test. So they keep you in tune. I keep hearing somebody named Sophia. They keep you in tune. You finna be reformed, Sophia. They keep you in tune. They keep you in tune. And when they keep you in tune, uh, they keep you in tune. And it's a woman's game. I say in my case, a woman's game. They sit there. Whatever you do, you gotta shame yourself, and they get a thrill off of it. You gotta shame yourself, but it ain't for their game though. It's a woman's game, but it's not for their game. You really gotta do this stuff to see if you're alive or not. You gotta get this energy to resonate. You gotta bring out this heat, this type of heat, because they throw your ass in hell. Imagine hell being dark, very dark place. See, they just see it on the surface. The people don't know what kind of game this is. If they did, they'd shut that damn thing down on the dark web. But it's a hell game. It's like Satan. It's a real live online Ouija board. It's a portal. It's an online portal. That's what it is. It's a Ouija board, online Ouija board. I ain't talking about the oldies. I'm talking about a new upgraded Ouija board, whatever that fish shark tank is. That's what it is. And everybody playing. Thank God for the women and the men that's watching it and observing it and say, no, they putting good people in there and buying them out. But I still don't like that neither. I still think that's kind of messed up. But thank God for them, though, because it's like they are angels, ops for God. And that's why they built like that. Because it's all, when you birth evil, you birth good. When you birth good, you birth evil. It's always it ain't evil and good. I don't know why I said it. When you birth negative, you birth positive. When you birth positive, you birth negative. Always, no matter what. So it's kind of good we ain't got a Superman, because if you built a Superman and they supposed to be positive, it's going to be a negative somewhere. But anyway, so you got this fish tank. Like I said, they put people in here. I mean, that man for 7.5 years. Like I said, he ain't had no bathroom, and the family, everybody cut him off. Even though he helped everybody cut him off. So he lost everything. And anybody else he put in him, they lost everything. And I asked him, I was like, well, what you got out of it? Because when he told me the torture he went through, he said he had a measly old $150,000. That can't buy 3 of his acres. He lost 500 plus acres, almost 1,000 acres, really, because he had 500 plus acres on the land where they had their home at. He had other land where he had his businesses at, and he lost almost 1,000 acres. So they gave him a measly old $150,000 for torture and death. All this is legal now. And what did they do? So you gotta climb out. Now when you climb out, it's gonna take you even longer to get out of there. It's gonna take you, cause they want you to play with yourself and all that. They want you to do some silly stuff, man. Like they don't care about your life, you know. And it gives them, yeah, throw that TV at, throw the money at the TV. And what they don't know is that and they think that person deserve it. That's what be in their psyche. But they know they don't. They know they don't. They know they don't. And they just torture them to death, basically. That's why I do the test when I do the test. I don't even care about the test. When you climb out, you're going to get out anyway. God going to get you out. It's just going to be on God's time. Because, see, God is always creating. He can't turn around and get you because it's energy. It's frequencies of energy. God got to turn around, and then God got to get, it's just like working at a job or assembly line or something. You got to get to a point. You can't stop your assembly line in your area, because if you do, you're going to mess it up for everybody else. You're going to have to wait till that batch is over with, and then, which is a frequency. Imagine a batch being a frequency, and then you're going to have to pause the batch. And before you pause the batch, you're going to have to tell everybody on the line, look, I'm going to have to stop the line so I can go back and fix this, and then we'll get back started again. So I'm going to need a few hours to do that. And then, so let's say God had to do that, had to tell all his angels and all that, I'm going to have to stop the line because they buried Jesus Christ, and I'm going to have to go back and put his frequency right, because they ain't going to do it. They won't fix it, even though they can fix it, and they should fix it, and they could fix it, but they're not going to fix it because they down there with them demons now. Okay, now let's bring demons to the surface. Let's bring Satan them to the surface. Powerhouses. I hate to put y'all out like that, but because you could be angel. Same go for myself. You know, royalty people. Well, you bring all right. Let me do it like this. Let's bring these demons to the surface. Royalty people. The royalty people supposed to be angelic people, but they get in their dark side and they turn into whatever. It's like older Zoe. Just remember that. It's like older Zoe, whoever you are. It's like older Zoe. You know what I'm saying? Whatever angel you are, what's the opposite of that angel? You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. And when you start making money, you're going to automatically go into your dark side, you know, just by nature. So you're going to go automatically go into the negative side. So you think this game a joke because you done went to that dark side, but it's no joke now. And so I guess I'm going to leave it right there, and I'm going to start it up because I ain't doing no more than 40 minutes. But I'm going to have to finish this later. It's almost done anyway, though. But that's what I want to tell y'all. So it ain't got nothing to do. When you've been in here for 40 years, they've been doing this to me. But it was like them girls had a loaded gun, bro. It's like they knew they could, no matter how much money you could give these people, they were like, you know, you can get $100-something thousand, probably a lot more than that. I sure do hope so, for that kind of torture. They lose their family lose their family. And these people, when the energy came back, them people lost everything. They were just as busted up as he was. They was in the same condition he was in, pretty much, when his energy returned back to him. And they just kept doing it, like they didn't get that part. That's why your heart was serious. You better unsear your heart. If a few of y'all still alive, 'cause I know y'all done had some death moments here ever since y'all been doing this to me. My advice to y'all is to go get your heart back and start working at a regular job and get real money, normal money, and stop trying to sacrifice folk for a living. That's my advice. But it ain't just y'all. It's big. This is a big man's game, though. This is a big dog's game. So the poor people just know about it and just try to find somebody. I'm telling you, I got stories to tell of how to watch these He'll Have Eyes people. And that's gonna be a separate little book. It might be a pamphlet, but how I'm gonna name the book, How to Spot the He'll Have Eyes. That's what I'm gonna name it, bro. Because they look the part, they dread, they go to church every Sunday and Wednesday, all kind of stuff. And or they might be in other religions or whatever, and they just look like the people to deal. Just like what I was saying yesterday, these people look like they perfect people, walk like they perfect people, seem to be perfect people, but they the He'll Have Eyes. And I'm gonna start a little pamphlet book. I want everybody to buy it, and it's gonna say How to Dodge the He'll Have Eyes. Just like that right there.